Namaste yogis, welcome to your practice. This is Stephen from YogaWorks and welcome to my studio in Mozambique. Let's practice together. What I want to do today is end of the day sort of unwind for the hips. It doesn't have to be end of the day. It might actually be really beneficial to do this straight first thing in the morning as well. But it's often something I do after it's been a bit busy. I've been sitting a lot. I've had some computer work or some admin. I've been running around perhaps different projects. And for me, at least, the thing that always needs daily maintenance and attention is the whole area around the hips. So that's what I want to tune into. I want to do a second thing besides the hip focus, which is to use a little bit of breath awareness and a slower breath counts to drop into a bit of a calmer state, to feel a bit more free, more spacious, and let's see how we go. Let's come into cross-legged position. Let's start with the left shin in front of the right. And for this particular practice, sometimes we sit like this with the feet pointed and the knees quite wide. There's nothing wrong with this, but for today, bring the knees in closer so that your feet are under the level of the knees. And then with the feet, instead of pointing them, pull the toes a little bit up towards your shins. Nice. You might need to shuffle the hips slightly back so that the shins are parallel to the front of the mat. That was a whole bunch of instructions. We're going to start tuning into the breath just now. And then lean forward so that it's interesting, but not much further than that. So don't go until the stretch becomes really intense. I would say go about 50, maybe 60% of your capacity. You know that you can go much further, but you may not derive extra benefit out of that. That's a kind of a threshold that we're hovering around today. And then feel the hips grounding down. Feel the spine lengthening out of the hips, out of the pelvis. Soften shoulders, neck, face, whatever you can. Let the knees be nice and heavy, drawing down towards the mat. And then now we'll stay in this position for a couple of slower, mindful breaths. So exhale all the breath out. And take a slow breath in. Draw the breath all the way down into the abdomen. And on the exhale, feel the body resting down. We'll do this 2 more times. Slow inhale. Fill up and draw the breath lower. And exhale, feel the breath leave your body along with any kind of tension you can get rid of. 1 more like this. Inhale. And then a slow exhale. Nice. Stay in the same position. Just walk your hands a little bit over to the right. That's where your left foot is, under that right knee. And then walk the fingers a little bit forward, but don't lift this opposite hip up. Keep it grounded. And then just turn the chest down towards the mat. You might be way higher up. There's nothing wrong with this. Just go until you find that threshold of, it's an interesting stretch. You can work with it, but you're not overdoing it. That's what we're looking for today. Feel the knees nice and heavy, the hips grounded, the spine long. And we've added a little twist, a little side bend to this hip stretch. Just have a different angle to practice from. And then again, like we've done before, exhale the breath out. Slow inhale, fill up around the waist. Exhale, sink down a little bit more. 2 more just like this. Inhale. Exhale, feel the hips ground down. 1 more like this. Inhale. And exhale, get even more relaxed and settled. Nice. Walk the hands back up. Swap the legs so the right shin is in front of the left. Take a little moment to set this up. You don't want to just do this anyhow. You're going to lose some of the stretch otherwise. Cross the shins down the middle. have the feet underneath your knees, so it's quite a short stance. And then activate the toes of the feet a bit by pulling the toes up towards your shins. You can lengthen, maybe just sitting up is plenty work for you. Or maybe you need to lean a little bit forward until the stretch of the outer hips gets to the right level for you. And you can support yourself with the hands. Don't go to your max just yet. You might actually sink a little bit deeper as we hold this. But the deeper is not the point. We're here to unwind, and if that means you stay a little bit higher up or you take it a bit easier, then that's perfect. So nice and heavy, grounded through the lower body. Nice and lengthened and spacious in the upper body. That's the kind of setup we're looking for here. And then again, our little breath work. Exhale the breath out to start. And then inhale, slow, draw the breath deeper, deeper, deeper into your pelvic floor even. On the exhale, let everything go and sink down. 2 more like this. Inhale. Exhale, soften. Inhale, last one, like you're expanding a balloon around your belly and your waist. And exhale, almost like you're allowing the relaxation to be complete on that third out breath. Walk the hands back up. And then turn a little bit over this left knee, over the right foot, which is there. And walk a tiny bit forward until you stop. Don't overdo it. There's no need to shock the world with an incredible hip stretch here. You're here to unwind and to create a little bit of space, both physically around the hip region and mentally, of course. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale, deflate and see what you can release. Inhale here, knees nice and heavy. Exhale, relax, down. 1 more like this, inhale. And exhale, hips grounding into the mat. Good, walk the hands back up. Now stretch the legs wide. You can push with the hands behind you to lengthen the spine a bit. Maybe just sitting like this is plenty of challenge of stretch for you in the thighs, hamstrings. You're gonna feel this. Lengthen the spine. If it feels like you're leaning back, that it happens to many, including myself for many years, then your only job is really to just sit up as tall as you can. That's it. If you've got a little bit more space and it feels all right for you to walk your hands a bit forward, then you can do that. But again, remember, it's not our goal to arrive somewhere here. This has nothing to do with our yoga practice. It's on the inside. So we're making space, ground down through the backs of the legs. Feel the space from your heels, the calves, the backs of the thighs, your buttocks. Feel it rest down on the mat, nice and grounded. Then from this foundation, you could call it, lengthen the spine. Either it's going to be up or it's going to be up and a little bit forward. And then within this sort of construction, the cathedral of your pose, I find that a nice image. You're letting the breath move for a couple of rounds. So inhale slowly all the way down into your belly, into the pelvic floor. Exhale, let the legs ground down even more. Let them be really heavy and rooted. Inhale, you're slowing the breath down consciously. Exhale, rest. 1 more like this, inhale. Slow exhale all the breath out. Nice. Slowly walk the hands back up. And then bring the right foot into the center. Let the right knee go out. Yes. And then really simple, we're going to lower left elbow to the left thigh. Or if that feels better, inside the left thigh. Depends a little bit what works better for your body. Lift the right arm. And then reach the right arm over the head. And just let it dangle there. There's a handful of people who can really easily grab their foot. And there's a way bigger percentage of people where it just doesn't work that easily. I'm in the second group for sure. So no matter which group you are, ground down through the legs. We're unwinding, we're creating space. So holding that foot, it's just not high on the list of priorities. Just put it in perspective. And then you're creating space here in the side body and all the way down into this outer hip here. 3 breaths together. Exhale the breath out. Inhale. Now you can really expand into the side rib cage here. Exhale. 1. Let the head hang. Let the neck be quite relaxed. Inhale here. Exhale. Soften even more. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale, release. Come out of the pose. Swap the legs, right leg out, left heel in. Take a moment, ground down. This is our foundation. We're building the rest of the building on top of it. Right elbow a little bit lower towards that right knee or somewhere nearby. Left arm lifted up, open. Keep that space. Reach through the left fingers and just be happy there. It's fine. Heavy through the legs, expansive through the upper body. And then the breath is the real work on the inside today. Inhale here, expand, especially the left side of the rib cage. Exhale, what can you let go of? 2 more. Inhale, slow it down. Exhale, that's 2. If my count doesn't work, you're of course welcome to do your own thing. Inhale here. Exhale, 3. But consciously try to slow down the breath at the very least. And then roll out of it. And come into, this is called bear sit, I believe. Bear sit is you're sitting on your buttocks and you have your feet quite wide so that your shins are parallel to each other. And then you flex the feet so that there's a 90-degree angle here as well. Nice. And then hold the soles of the feet, or if that's a little bit too far away, you can hold your ankles. And whichever one you've chosen, can you lengthen the spine? Nice. Lengthen the spine. And then you can use your elbows to gently weigh down a little bit on the inner knees there. And use the outer hips as well to open the legs wider. So you're sitting, you're plugging the sit bones into the mat. And then you're engaging the outer hips to try open the knees wider to the outside respectively. Nice. Take a couple of breaths. And then just for a moment, press the knees into your elbows. Nothing's going to change because the elbows are not allowing the knees to come closer. But imagine you're trying to close the knees in the middle and your elbows are preventing it. There's a little tug of war happening. Squeeze, 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 knees up, knees up, knees up. And then release it and then press the knees down and maybe lift or lower them away from your elbows a little bit. Knees down, knees are trying to stay away from the elbows. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Release the hands behind you. Now lower the right knee all the way down and then rotate the left knee down. You might need to turn sideways on your mat. And then keep the right knee glued to the mat. Start to lift the left knee up until it can't go any further. Then let the right knee come along for the ride, you could say. Until both legs sort of windscreen wipe down. Then left knee glue it down. Right knee lift it up until it can't go any further. Then let the transition happen. This right knee is pulling the left knee along with it, so to speak. Right knee stays down. How high can you lift the left knee? And then rotate, rotate, rotate until you go down. And then do this a couple of times. Don't speed it up too much. You want to create a nice, relaxing feeling of flow in the body, in the breath. If you're going to rush through it, it's not going to work. Really good hip movements. And it's because it's so circular and gentle and doesn't bear a lot of weight, it's hard to overdo this. Of course, if it doesn't feel good, you might need to adapt this a bit. But for many people, this is just going to feel really good to rotate your hip, your thigh bones inside the hip socket. Let's do one more on each side. Remember, the top knee is dragging the other leg along with it. Nice. And then swivel to the right. And just stay here. You should be in the right position already. It's called 90-90. So that means 90 degrees in the front knee, 90 in the back knee, and also 90 at the hip joints. So wherever you look, 90 degrees. You can use your mat lines to get a visual reference. And then lift the chest up, but ground down through the legs. Nice. And then walk halfway forward. I like to have the hands a little bit wider. And just use your hands as a support. Lengthen the chest forward and up. Don't try to go really low. You're going to lose some of the quality of the pose here. And then we're going to add a couple of activations. First one is to ground down through this front leg. Press it down nice and firmly. And then second one is to arch the lower back a little bit. So you're imagine letting the belly hang towards that thigh. Just do it. Nobody's going to see you. There's some advantages of online classes in it. And then one more is to drag the right hip, that glute, a little bit back and out. 3 breaths. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale, settle in. You're not actually moving, the breath is moving inside the stationary pose. Inhale, number 2. Exhale, feel the hips unwind and maybe release some tension. One more inhale. Exhale, let it go. Good. Lift back up. Take your time. Swivel to the opposite side. And face your chest forward. Just check the back leg, the front leg, 90-90, 90-90 everywhere. Lift the spine a little bit. You're grounding down through the legs. You're getting nice space in the upper body. And then walk halfway forward. Have the hands a little bit wider, like a kickstand. And turn the chest so it's over that knee more or less. Maybe the middle of the shin, that's also fine. Couple of cues. Press the front leg down or at least firmly ground it into the mat. And then arch the lower back a little bit and let the belly hang. And last one, press that left glute down and pull it out and back a little bit. Nothing's actually moving, but we're just setting up some internal activations. Good, 3 breaths, empty all the breath out. Inhale slow, everything through the nose as much as you can. Exhale, feel that left hip sink a little bit lower into the mat, as it were. 2 more here, inhale. Is the belly still relaxed? Exhale, relax it more if you can. You've got 1 more, inhale. Exhale. Nice. Slowly lift back up. Now come back to center and place the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana. Nice. You're going to hold the outsides of the feet here, lift the chest a little bit. If this is enough, then stay here. If you got a little bit more space, I don't have a lot of space, as you can see, but if you got a little bit more space, you can lean a tiny bit forwards. Nice. You can even use the elbows on the thighs, but remember, we're not here to make it super intense. We're here to unwind, just to feel the area around the hips, to touch on some of the muscles, get a little bit of length here and there, but mainly to create a feeling of peace and calm on the inside. Nice. Inhale here. Exhale, the knees become even heavier. Inhale. Exhale, soften down. Inhale, breathe all the way down into your hips. Of course, the air doesn't go there, but definitely there's some change in the pressure that happens because the diaphragm is pushing down and pressing the belly contents down and out. Exhale all the air out. So it is technically true that you can breathe into different parts of the body, except that the air obviously doesn't go there. And then lift back up. Nice. Seated ankle to knee. I'm going to do like, I'll turn sideways so you can see better. I'll have my hand behind me and then place the right ankle on the left knee. Nice. I like to turn the fingers back and then just walk a little bit closer. You can choose with the hips. If you sit further away, it's going to be a little bit less intense. If you sit closer and you walk the chest up, then it's going to add a little bit of extra stretch to this twist, to this pose, not twist. Couple of breaths. Press the right ankle quite firmly onto that left knee. One more deeper breath. Lengthen the out breath as much as you can. As to come out, you might need to shuffle back a little bit and release that leg from the ankle, from the knee. My instructions are all over the place today. Release your knee from your ankle and then walk left ankle, right knee. We're shuffling a bit closer if you need to, and then lift the chest if you need to. And press the left ankle on the right knee. I got it right this time. Nice. Couple of breaths. Nice. Lengthen the spine. Nice grounded feeling through the position we're in with the legs and the hips. 3 slow breaths. With every exhale, consciously trying to deflate, to decompress. And then slowly release. Nice. Next to double pigeon pose, I'll provide an alternative because sometimes this pose is totally inaccessible. So right ankle on the left knee, and you can see when I do it, my knee is hovering quite high. There's no real problem with this. It just means I've got some tightness in the outer hips. Maybe you do too. But if this is really not doable, it feels terrible, maybe your knee feels a little bit achy, then just have right shin in front of the left shin. Like we've done in the beginning, it's a bit of a calmer option of then double pigeon. Same muscle groups we're working on though. And then lengthen the spine up. And either just stay here or walk the hands a little bit forward. So you're in one of two options. The right shin is in front of the left. Or you're in double pigeon, the right ankle is on top of that left knee. Your knee might be higher or lower. This is, it's irrelevant. I wish mine was much lower, but it just isn't. So that's just the reality, isn't it? So 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, slow. Inhale, you might feel some more resistance with this one. I do, at least. Exhale, more. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, ground and release. Well done. Slowly lift back up. Uncross the legs and then swap them around so its right shin is down. Left ankle on the right knee for double pigeon. Try the shins are more or less parallel to the front of your mat. Or if this is no-go zone, your knees are shouting at you or something, you work with an injury, then left shin in front of right. Perfect. Make your choice. Lengthen the spine. Stay as is, or walk a tiny bit forward and stay there. Or walk a lot forward, but I can't show you more because I've reached my limit. Nice. 3 breaths. Again. Inhale. Exhale, let the hips sink down even more. Inhale, breathe into any pieces of resistance. Exhale, can you let go of a little bit of it? One more inhale. Exhale, let the relaxation be complete. Slowly release. A couple of times, windscreen wipe. You've done a lot of work on sort of the full circumference of your hip joint. And just see how your thigh bones are moving inside the hip sockets. Nice. And then come into a comfortable cross-legged position. Doesn't really matter how you're sitting, just make sure you can hold it for a minute or so. And then plug the sit bones down on the earth. Lengthen the spine without becoming tense. We've just done all this work to become less tense, so hopefully you can keep some of that. Let your hands rest on the knees or in your lap. Let your head rise up into the clouds. Close your eyes if that's comfortable. And take a moment just to sit, to enjoy just sitting. Don't do anything else. Don't plan, don't dream, don't wish, don't escape. Don't go back, don't go forward. Don't rush. Just sit. And it might take a while for the body to accept that you're just sitting. You're not even doing a stretch. You're not doing deep breathing. Just sitting. But once your mind gets over the fact that you're just sitting, nothing else, it can be really amazing to just sit. You don't have to do anything. Enjoy another moment of just sitting. Nice. If your eyes are closed, you can blink them open. You can continue to just sit, just switch off the video and continue your seated meditation for as long as you can or you have. If it's time for you to go, then we'll say goodbye. Place your hands together at the chest. Touch your hands to your forehead, to your heart, and bow to yourself on the mat. Thank you so much for practicing. Namaste, everybody. I hope you feel a bit more spacious, a bit more grounded, a little bit more unwound. Come back to this often. It's really good work. And I'll see you here for the next practice. Namaste.